The biggest killers in the world are heart disease and cancer. But there's one more killer that's equally dangerous, if not more so, and it is infections. Infections from viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, all kinds of pathogens can make us sick. And when our immunity is compromised, these pathogens can even kill us. Over the last 2 years, we've all been bombarded with advice about strengthening our immunity to fend off viruses. So let's take a deep dive into what immunity is really all about, how it works, and what we can do to boost it up. The word immunity sounds simple, but actually it refers to an incredibly complex network of cells, tissues, and organs. It's not just one thing, it's everything that defends the body against invasion by harmful pathogens. There are 2 major parts to this defense system. The first part is called innate immunity, which literally means non-specific. This is your body's first line of defense, and it includes physical barriers like your skin, your mucous membranes, and even your eyelashes. These barriers prevent pathogens from getting into your body in the first place. If a pathogen manages to get past those physical defenses, then your innate immune system will attack it. This part of your immune system identifies pathogens using a variety of receptors that detect general signs of infection, such as molecules that are commonly found on the surface of bacteria or viruses. When a match is found, special immune cells called phagocytes will engulf and destroy the invader. Other cells will release chemicals to recruit more immune cells to the site of infection and also to trigger inflammation. Inflammation has a bad reputation, but it's actually very helpful. Swelling and redness caused by inflammation bring more blood and immune cells to the affected area where they can fight the infection. Fever is another important part of innate immunity. A higher body temperature helps speed up the process by which immune cells identify and destroy pathogens. So that's innate immunity, broad strokes, general, non-specific defense. Now let's talk about adaptive immunity, which is highly specific. Adaptive immunity takes longer to kick into gear than innate immunity, but it's much more targeted. Cells of the adaptive immune system recognize and remember specific pathogens, so the body can fight them more efficiently the next time around. This is the basis of vaccines. Vaccines expose the body to a harmless version of a pathogen, which triggers the adaptive immune system to learn how to recognize and fight the real thing. Vaccines help the body develop highly specific weapons like T cells and B cells. T cells identify and destroy infected cells, while B cells produce antibodies that neutralize pathogens. Adaptive immunity is also responsible for something called immunological memory. After the immune system has identified a pathogen, some of the cells involved in the response become memory cells. Memory T cells hang around for months or even years, ready to identify the same pathogen again. If the body encounters the same pathogen again, memory T cells quickly identify it and coordinate an attack. Memory B cells remain in the body for decades, and they churn out antibodies at the first sign of infection. That's why people who have recovered from certain viral infections like chickenpox often remain immune to the disease for many years. They also don't need to get vaccinated for that illness. Their adaptive immune system remembers the pathogen and how to neutralize it. It's worth noting that both types of immunity work together. For example, your skin acts as a barrier to prevent pathogens from getting into your body. But if a pathogen does manage to get past your skin, then other parts of your immune system, including your lymph nodes, spleen, and bone marrow, will come into play to identify and neutralize it. You might be thinking that you have no control over your immune system, that it's just something that happens to you. But that's not true. There are lots of things that you can do to support your immune system. Let's start with the basics: diet and exercise. Being overweight or obese can weaken the immune system, making it harder for your body to fight off infections. And obesity increases the risk of developing autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis and type 1 diabetes. Regular exercise, on the other hand, improves circulation, which helps immune cells travel around the body and do their job. Exercise also reduces stress, which weakens immunity, so it helps to reduce that effect, but be careful not to overdo it. Intense exercise can temporarily suppress the immune system, especially if you're exercising to the point of exhaustion. So take rest days when needed. Okay, diet. What should you be eating to support your immune system? Well, a balanced diet rich in nutrients is key. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean proteins. These foods provide the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants your body needs to keep your immune system functioning properly. Pay particular attention to vitamin D. Studies show that vitamin D supports both innate and adaptive immunity. Vitamin D strengthens the barrier function of the skin, which is the first line of defense against pathogens. Vitamin D also helps T cells and macrophages recognize and destroy pathogens. Your body makes vitamin D when your skin is exposed to sunlight, but you can also get vitamin D from certain foods like fatty fish and fortified dairy products. Unfortunately, most people don't get enough vitamin D. One large study found that only 10% of adults had sufficient levels of vitamin D in their blood. Since boosting vitamin D levels has been shown to improve immune responses, this could explain why some people seem to get sick more often, so consider taking a vitamin D supplement, especially during the winter months. Another nutrient that plays an important role in immunity is zinc. Like vitamin D, zinc is involved in many different parts of the immune response. It helps T cells differentiate into the various types of T cells that attack infected cells, activate B cells, and also promote wound healing. Zinc also has antimicrobial properties that directly inhibit the replication of viruses and bacteria. People who are deficient in zinc have weakened immunity and are more likely to suffer from diarrhea, pneumonia, and malaria. Fortunately, zinc is abundant in many foods, including oysters, meats, legumes, and nuts. Now, let's move on to sleep. We know that good quality sleep is essential for overall health, and immunity is no exception. When you don't get enough sleep, your body produces more of the stress hormone cortisol. As we mentioned earlier, high levels of cortisol weaken the immune system. In fact, people who experience chronic sleep deprivation have elevated levels of cortisol and increased risk of infections. Sleep deprivation also impairs the function of T cells, so aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Try to keep a consistent sleep schedule and avoid using stimulants like caffeine late in the day. Next is stress management. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which, as we mentioned, weakens the immune system. So finding ways to manage stress is crucial for supporting your immunity. Some effective ways to reduce stress include yoga, meditation, and spending time in nature. But one warning here, short-term stress like the kind you experience when working on a deadline or taking a test can actually benefit performance. It gives you a boost of energy and focus. This kind of stress activates the parasympathetic nervous system that helps restore balance after a stressful situation has passed. So it's important to distinguish between acute and chronic stress. Acute stress is short-lived and it can be beneficial. Chronic stress is long-lasting and harmful. Finally, let's talk about alcohol and smoking. Excessive alcohol consumption weakens the immune system. Drinking too much can also increase the risk of certain infections. And smoking tobacco damages the respiratory system, making it harder for the body to fight off lung infections. Quitting smoking is one of the best things you can do for your overall health, and it will have immediate as well as long-term benefits for immunity. In summary, a healthy lifestyle can significantly strengthen your immunity, helping your body effectively defend itself against infections and diseases. It's about making small changes in your daily routine that add up to big improvements in your overall health. Remember, it's not about any single thing. It's about a combination of healthy habits that have a positive impact on your immune system. Speaking of small changes, if you're enjoying this video and learning something new, please click like. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click subscribe and click the bell icon to receive every notification. Thank you for watching.